The news is official. Taehyung and Jungkook will be together in Los Angeles for 2 months to work on the new album.
They won't be alone, as the rest of the members will also be reuniting to collaborate on the musical production that their fans enjoy so much.
It all started with a recent video in which Taehyung was seen leaving Paris. Although not many images were captured, one important detail was noticed by the most attentive followers. One of his bodyguards was carrying a suitcase that seemed to indicate that his trip wouldn't end there. Speculation soon arose. Was Taehyung heading directly to Los Angeles to meet Jungkook?
These types of connections are nothing new to those who closely follow the dynamic between the two. When Taehyung and Jungkook are not physically together, it's common to notice how Jungkook frequently uses his phone, giving clear signs that he maintains active communication. Although it has never been officially confirmed, the general perception among fans is that both artists make an effort to maintain contact, strengthening a bond that has grown over the years.
They remember when Taehyung posted images showing off his painted nails.
A few days later, Jungkook also appeared with his nails decorated, which was quickly linked to a moment on Run BTS, episodes 97 and 98, in which Jungkook was the only one who knew that Taehyung regularly had his nails done. What seemed like a simple anecdote is now seen as another sign of the particular affinity they share. For many, these gestures are not coincidences, but silent expressions of a bond that remains strong over time.
Jungkook has subtly shown on several occasions that Taehyung remains a very present figure in his life.
And although it's not always obvious, the small signs build a map of gestures and actions that speak of a mutual commitment, a connection that goes beyond friendship. The anticipation of their reunion in Los Angeles stems not only from an interest in the music they are about to create, but also from the desire to see them share the same space again, working together, as a couple with a deep emotional bond. The time they will spend together will undoubtedly be an opportunity for that closeness to once again become part of public life, albeit within the limits they themselves decide to set. It's funny how people can sometimes create elaborate stories out of simple everyday scenes. Recently, many interpretations were shared about the arrival of some members at the airport, which has generated a number of erroneous comments. We observed that Jimin and Suga arrived together in the same vehicle, while Jungkook arrived separately. This discrepancy was enough to spark speculation. However, the facts are not at all strange when analyzed objectively.
Once at the airport, Jimin approached the staff, apparently waiting for Jungkook.
Then Jungkook appears and approaches the group.
At that moment, you can see him bowing to Jimin and Suga.
In Korean culture, this gesture has a clear meaning. It is a show of respect toward the elderly. It is not a romantic symbol nor an insinuation of any kind of special relationship. It is simply part of the country's traditional manners. Jimin, for his part, responds to the greeting with a handshake, and although this gesture has been exaggeratedly interpreted by some as a sign of emotional closeness beyond friendship, the truth is that it was a brief, formal greeting.
Jungkook extended his right hand, but Jimin took his left, a detail that has been taken out of context by many people.
The important thing to understand is that since the live on July 1, 2025, there has been no public interaction between them.
This detail, rather than fueling rumors, reinforces the idea that their current relationship remains within a professional framework.
When they do see each other, it is usually in work contexts or for obligations related to their responsibilities as artists or citizens. Some claim to have seen Jungkook and Jimin traveling together privately, or even strolling in New York as if on a personal date. However, there is no reliable evidence to support these claims. The reality is much simpler. Both have been resting in their respective homes, recharging their batteries after official activities. In this sense, it's interesting to note that at the airport, each member was traveling individually. They weren't walking in a group or constantly interacting. Each had their own itinerary and space, which contradicts the narrative of those trying to portray excessive closeness between certain members, based on conjecture.
On the other hand, there has also been talk about the relationship between Jungkook and Taehyung.
Unlike the unfounded rumors surrounding other members, what is known about them is that they share a solid relationship that has developed over time. Taehyung and Jungkook have consistently shown closeness on various occasions, both on and off stage. They don't need to make public or forced displays to make it clear that their bond is strong and special. During the time they have shared workspaces, they have demonstrated a connection based on trust, respect, and mutual understanding. They have worked together for years, and that relationship has evolved into a union that many people interpret as a stable couple. Although they don't expose themselves openly, those who follow their journey closely notice the way they care for and support each other, even in the most discreet moments. In their few recent appearances, although they aren't always visibly together, the details speak for themselves.
Small coincidences, subtle gestures, and ways of acting that denote their connection.
Instead of grand declarations, their relationship seems to be built from intimacy, away from the spotlight, where there's no need to prove anything to anyone. Therefore, it's unnecessary to divert attention with unsubstantiated rumors. It's more valuable to observe reality objectively, without idealizing non-existent relationships or distorting the facts. The dynamics between the group members may change over time, but what is publicly seen between Taehyung and Jungkook suggests a connection that goes beyond simple friendship.
In the many moments captured on video featuring Taehyung and Jungkook, one thing becomes evident time and again. It's not something that needs complicated analysis. It's visible to anyone paying attention. The way the two move together so fluidly gives the impression that they share a unique kind of communication. As if they're connected by a thread only they can see. No matter what's happening around them, be it a crowded event, an interview, or a brightly lit stage, they always seem completely connected. This isn't just about being in the same place at the same time. It goes far beyond that. It's the way that, without needing to say anything, one reaches out and the other already knows what to do. One takes a step, the other follows suit. One turns, the other is already looking at them. It's a constant pattern. There are no mistakes, no hesitations. It's like a silent choreography they've learned without rehearsing. There's something about the way they touch each other that you don't see with other people. There's no sign of nervousness or distance. The physical contact between them is gentle but determined. They approach each other without seeming forced. As if it were something completely natural. This is especially noticeable in situations where no one tells them what to do, where there's no script, just them being themselves. Their body language also changes markedly when they're close. The way they position themselves, how they adjust to each other, how their bodies react without much thought. They're not simply sharing a space. They're in sync. There's a sense of trust that doesn't need to be explained with words. This behavior isn't something you see casually or coincidentally. It happens many times, at different times, under different circumstances. And the same pattern always repeats itself. This indicates that it's not a coincidence. It's not a phase. It's a way of being that has formed over time, that has grown with every glance, every gesture, every silent approach. The relationship between Taehyung and Jungkook is constantly evident, even in the smallest details. They don't seek to stand out with grand declarations or loud words. But their actions speak volumes. When they're together, everything changes. The way they move, look at each other, and touch each other isn't the same as they use with other people. It's as if they share a silent agreement. An agreement that says, "I'm with you, no matter what."
In many public moments, even with thousands of eyes on them, there are moments when they seem to forget everything. Their gestures become softer, closer.
There are no barriers between them. If Taehyung takes a step, Jungkook is ready to join him. If Jungkook stops, Taehyung does too.
Their movements have a fluidity that goes beyond what is planned.
They're not acting. They're not following a script.
They're showing each other as they are when they're together.
This is something that has grown over the years. It doesn't appear overnight.
This kind of synchronicity can only be achieved when there's history behind it, when there have been shared moments that have strengthened that bond. They've learned to read each other without speaking, to care for each other without needing to show it too much. Every small gesture reflects the construction that takes time.
It's not just a habit. It's something much stronger.